Let's discuss now how organizations should look at implementing Data Protection Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 in their environments. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you regularly see new content on data privacy, and as I said, we are going to talk about where should an organization start implementing DPDP. The common mistakes that the organizations have started making, and they are in a hurry, or they believe that it is too small a thing that it can be done without too much of a caution. They start just by drafting a policy. Just drafting a privacy policy? Well, that is not compliance. Is drafting a privacy policy start of a compliance? Ideally, no. They panic about penalties and notices, but I think you should first look at the structure of working rather than worrying about the penalties. If you have set up the proper structure, maybe penalties don't even apply to you. Buy a consent or compliance tool. Now, this is something very interesting. And a couple of years back, someone told me that one of the largest corporates has already spent 35 lakh rupees on buying a DPDP compliant tool. And I was wondering, and I could not get an answer to the simple question. The final rules and laws are not out. What are you getting compliant with? And why so early? Have you looked at your data flows? Have you looked at your systems? Or is it that because you have a budget and because your management is scared of compliance, so money has been spent? Ask legal teams to handle DPDP? Well, ideally not. It's more of a compliance issue, more of not a legal only issue. Everyone handles personal data, so everyone has to be careful. Assume DPDP is only a documentation? No, not at all. Actually, documentation is one time. You create a privacy policy, you make consent forms. What else documentation? Auditor has to do his work in any case. This approach fails because policies don't reflect the real systems. Ideal way is that look at the real system, study the system and draft policy accordingly. And then also see that if the policy needs some more updates to be on a standard level, then accordingly the system also needs to be updated. So ideally first update the system also and then a better fine-tuned policy. Tools are bought, as I told you, without understanding the data flows. Teams work in silos with no clear ownership, which is not good. It is not good, and it happens because the organizations think buying a tool makes them compliant. Tools deployment also is a long process. Compliance becomes only nothing more than just a checkbox option, and fixes come up later on when you actually come to know that you are not compliant or you are not up to the mark. Then you start fixing up, and that's where you actually end up spending a lot of money. DPDP fails operationally, not legally. The correct starting point should be, what personal data do we handle? Where does it actually come from? Where does it live? Where have we stored it? Where are we processing it? Who processes it? Who is having access to this data? Is actually a role-based access provisioned? Is the data kept encrypted? Why is it there altogether? Purpose. Purpose, and when the purpose ends so that it moves ahead. No tools, no policies, just plain and simple visibility. So step 1, identify the high risk data first. Look at your customer data. It is highest risk because it adds up to brand reputation and loss of customers also. Look at your employee and HR data. It is also very important because these are the people who are handling external data, and if they don't see a respect to their own data, how will they handle the external data? Children's data to be taken care of in a better way. Even if you have some disabled people, their data needs to be taken care of in a better way, so be better and more careful with them. Financial data, health data, identity data, the Aadhars and the PAN cards of the any kind of principal who has kept data with you. Data shared outside, vendors, cloud, they need more protection. Are the contracts proper, including privacy clauses? Not all data is equal, but you should focus on impact and not the volumes of data. Step 2, map them with reality, not with ideal processes. How is data collected? Shadow tools, unofficial workflows, manual exports, spreadsheets, emails, they need to be mapped with the real process. Legacy systems are still in use. Do we need them? Do they have personal information? Third party SaaS provider, were they properly onboarded with privacy clauses? You need to be near the reality, not away from reality. This is where real DPDP risks live. Assign ownership as early as possible. Who owns the customer data? Who owns the employee data? We'll say HR, fine. Who responds to data principals requests? The user rights as provided by the Act. Who corresponds to the vendors and the processors? Their data is important. Their processing is important because they are doing on your behalf and you are answerable to the board and to the principals. Who escalates incidents? Where do escalations go? DPDP is an operating model, not just a document. What you should do or what you should not do immediately. Don't rush into redesigning your consents. Hold on. Relook at your processes rather than only on the consent screens. Don't buy compliance tools. You can buy them once your process is clear so that you can map them to your processes rather than redesign your processes to map to the consent tools. So therefore, don't over-engineer your processes. Don't aim for perfect DPDP compliance. Right? Start working. Don't just think that you can do something high-tech right now and today. Don't copy GDPR templates blindly. GDPR is privacy, but does not mean that GDPR will solve all your problems. Premature optimization often breaks DPDP programs. The real insight: DPDP starts with understanding the data reality. Policies, notices, and tools come after clarity. Early focus should be risk, ownership, and visibility. Early focus should not be process or tool redesigning. Focus should be on risk with visibility. Take this approach, save your cost, your time, and your credibility in the market. Start small, but start right, and therefore scale and upgrade very, very safely. So that's the first step, how you should look at implementing DPDP in your environment. I hope you like the content of the video. If you have any concerns, queries, please put them in the feedback sheet and subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates. Thank you.